Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of The Good, Bad, and Ugly of Business. I am your host, Katrin Becker. On this podcast, we love to talk to all sorts of different people so that we can learn what they have learned. Because while a smart person learns from their mistakes, a genius learns from the mistakes of others. So by talking to all of these successful people, we can learn from their successes, but more importantly, we can learn from their failures, because I believe that there's way more lessons in the failures and what you do next. So I'm very excited about today's guest. I had the opportunity of seeing him perform live in Anaheim, the home of Disneyland in California, to a crowd of more than 1,000 people full of celebrities, millionaires, and even billionaires. He was the opening act for JT Fox on Mega Success last year. He put Fox in a box. He comes all the way from Norway. He has performed in front of amazing crowds, royalties, celebrities, dignitaries, you name it. He is incredible. And if you haven't seen his illusions yet, you definitely want to go check him out after this interview. Alexx Alexander, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is absolutely all mine. I really enjoyed seeing you perform, and you have such a gift with connecting with people. So thank you for coming on and telling us a little bit more about your journey.
Wow, thank you.
Here we go. Let's give you some love.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's usually what I do. I just I've been so fortunate in my life, and I have this gift, this talent that I'm working with, and it's taking me all around the world, experience just amazing stuff, seeing amazing places, meeting amazing people. I think most of our journey here on Earth is us, meetings.
It's how we connect.
Yes, it is. Like we're doing now.
The magic is in the connection.
Yes, it is.
So, and you're coming from a very special place right now. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your background? Literally the background, and then we'll get into your actual background.
This is because I'm in LA at the moment, performing at the world famous Magic Castle. And this is actually right outside the theater where I do my show 3 times every night. So there's a lot of history in these walls, and it's such an honor to be asked to perform here. And I feel really, really lucky and blessed. And yeah, it's a really fun time. So I thought that this background would be suitable for our interview this morning.
Well, while I have a fake background, I love that you have the actual real thing, because as far as magic and magician goes, being at the Magic Castle, that's pretty much like the pinnacle, right? Is there any other place that you want to perform that you haven't had the chance to yet?
Oh, there's a lot of places, but I mean, I've been around the world, and it's very interesting. But I gotta say, Katrin, I like America. I kind of have America in my heart, so that's why I'm visiting so often and doing these events and my shows here. I kind of like the American way, you know.
Well, we love you and are so glad to have you here and to be able to see your incredible acts and performances. And the fact that you do it 3 times a night, I mean, that sounds exhausting. Where do you find the energy?
It's actually a lot of fun. Of course, it takes a lot of energy. But I mean, it's as long as you have fun, and as long as the tickets are selling and the audience is there. So for me, it's not a better thing in the world. This is just what I love to do, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
It's a really great point that you just brought up of having the audience there in the room, because if we take what it is that you do as a performer and expand it out, extrapolate it to what business owners do, most business owners are offering either a product or a service. Yours is a service in the fact of your art and performance, but most businesses don't need to have all of the people at all of the same time in one place. So that's kind of a unique piece of being a performer the way that you are. And I'm sure they weren't always sold out seats like they are now. So tell us a little bit about this journey, because I know you've been interested in magic since you were a very small boy.
That's right. I was actually 5 years old when I got my first magic book from my grandfather. And he was a sailor, and every time that he came back home, he had a gift for me. And I remember that day very well. And that was a book. It was actually in Norwegian, and it was a book where inside there were a lot of pictures. They were in black and white. This was a magic book from the 60s.
Oh my goodness.
So I still got it. And it's but I got so inspired because it was illusions that I could learn easily with things that I had at home, like a pencil, a coffee mug, and so on. So I practiced, and I looked into the mirror, and I got better, and it gave me self-esteem.
Mm.
So that's the early beginning of it. And I like to tell this story also, like a story for inspiration, because I wasn't a cool kid at school. I was the loner. I was the guy that I had friends, but I was never the cool guy, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't fit in, you know, at soccer practice with all the cool guys, and I never really found my place. But with magic, I could do a little illusion, and all of my classmates would say, "Wow, how did you do that?" And I suddenly got the sense of how it was to be popular. So it really, to this day, it made me who I am now, and it keeps inspiring me every day. So my goal was actually to try to make a living out of my passion and out of something I found that I could be successful with.
I absolutely love that. I think so many people can relate to not fitting in at some point of their life, and even people that we think or perceive as being the cool kids. You know, I've had some guests on here, one woman who is drop dead gorgeous, and you think she's probably never had any concern in her life, and through the interview, that's just not true. You know, we all are human, and we all go through those things where we feel like we don't fit in, and it's really of overcoming that comparison trap and finding our own unique specialness and embracing it. So I love that you went from feeling kind of on the outside to now you perform to ginormous crowds and being on stage, and there's got to be some moments of stage fright and doubt and things where you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So what has that been like for you?
I'm going to tell you a little secret, okay? Actually, a little bit every time. Every time, every night, every show. But I think it's a good thing because it keeps you sharp. Especially for me, it's keeping me sharp, and like I can't go out there and just, you know, doing something that I could do in my sleep. This is a live performance, and anything can happen. I mean, it's when I do smaller stuff, it all depends on me. When I do the bigger shows, I have a lot of people working for me, and you know, they also have to do their part for everything to be successful. So I'm relying on that my team also doing 100% every night, and of course doing it at that speed and that level. We're doing it with new arenas almost every night. So usually when we do that, we live in a bus, you know, driving around, and so the backside of show business isn't really that glamorous that, you know, I really want people to see, because when you come, especially here at the Magic Castle, or you come to a theater, everything is so nice and everything is, you know, in the proper way. There's Alexx Alexander logos everywhere, and there's, you know, really, I kind of like to show people my image and what I what I'm about.
Sure.
But of course, the backside of that is that we're working so much and we're traveling so much. So I'm almost never home. So.
And I can see how, it's an illusion that it's just you up there on stage. Even if you have, your assistant there with you, you're absolutely right. We don't think about all of the things that go behind the scenes to make it all work. And that's true of any business, right?
Yes.
That you hear like Elon Musk, for example, when he comes up and he's the figurehead and everything, but all of the people that go kind of behind the scenes to make it work. So it's really, I love being able to compare the two. And one of the things that I heard you say often through your different interviews and things is that you think of this more as an art form.
Yes.
That you are an artist, that is who you are. I am so curious, and I know you won't divulge any secrets, and I'm not asking you to divulge any secrets, but it seems to me like there must be a lot of math and science involved in making an illusion work. Is that true?
It is. And actually, I was never very good at school. It was, I kind of felt that this was my thing. I was supposed to be out there performing. That was my calling. That was what I was supposed to do. And I did. But now, some years later, I wish that I had spent some more time being more interested in what I was learning at school, because now I need everything. Like you said, it's mathematics, it's something about everything. It's handcraft, it's languages, because now suddenly I'm traveling all around the world. And I was just thinking, oh, I don't need that. I can just talk English, But when you come to places like India or China, or they don't speak English. Not even in France.
Wow.
Nobody in France even speak English almost. They
Well, I
can.
think
They
any
won't.
American that's gone to France knows that.
Yes, and especially American. They're like afraid of Americans. So
I would
all.
tell people I was Canadian when I would travel in Europe.
Oh yeah. Probably a good thing. So it's it's true what you say. You actually need a lot of basic knowledge of everything, because what we do, we create something impossible. And how do you do that, right? And that's the challenge every time. And that's what really gets me going, because how the process of actually making something unbelievable, unreal, and impossible, and make that possible, and also make the audience believe what they're saying.
So speaking of impossible, I just changed my background. You can see I've got the Hollywood sign behind me. You've
It's a
got
great
some
view.
big, oh, hold on, wait. Ta-da! I made it disappear.
Almost.
It's that easy, right? That's all you have
I
to
wish
do.
it was that simple. I wish it was that simple.
Talk to us a little bit about that. What do you got planned for us?
Well, in my career, I have done a lot of things, and it mostly starts with me having a dream or a wish. I wish I could do that, like when I was a kid. I wish I could travel the world doing my shows. I wish that I have a TV show. I wish I could publish a magic book. And all of these things, I see them, I dream of them, and I do it. That's basically what I've been doing. And of course, there's been a lot of struggles, and nothing is easy, no matter which business or in life in general. And for me, it's always been like, okay, I have this idea and I kind of see it. So can I actually make this a reality? And that's what I've done with all these things. So, and with some of the bigger stuff, I'm the only illusionist in the world who has made a lake vanish.
I watched the video before this. It's amazing. Of course, I didn't understand everything because it was, in Norwegian, but it was a credible illusion. I will definitely make sure there's a link to it
Thank
in
you.
this podcast episode.
And that was fun because the reason why it's in Norwegian, we talked about it back and forth, but it was made for the city of Oslo because they were given the title European Green Capital. So they reached out to me and asked, Alex, can we do something cool with, Norway is known for fjords, mountains, rivers. Can we do something about some nature element? And I just saw it. Let's do it with water. Why not? The sole source of drinking water to the city of Oslo, where I live. So the storyline was, what will happen if we don't have our drinking water?
Yeah.
And we managed to pull it off. It in the last second, we made it vanish. It reappeared. And when I heard about that strike in Hollywood with all the screenwriters, all the actors, I really felt for them as a performer and an artist myself.
Yeah.
I feel a connection with Hollywood. And what I thought, how can I support, because I'm traveling so much back and forth to LA and performing in Hollywood, how can I support this strike and the strikers? So I had an idea, and I didn't even know if it would be possible. But now, little by little, everything comes together, and the idea was making the iconic, one of the most known landmarks, if not the most known landmark in the world.
Absolutely.
Making it vanish. So what would Hollywood be without the movie industry? Or at least all the people that makes it what it is.
That's such a good way of bringing that together, because it really brings it home of the impact. I mean, there's so much content available between all of the streaming services and TV channels. I mean, I think there was something that I saw recently that in the last 30 years, we've gone from having 30 TV channels to 30 million, right? There's just so much out there. And the strike definitely will affect that, and we will feel that. I mean, I know we all felt it during COVID, where all of a sudden it's oh, there's nothing new to watch.
And I think it's the same thing now. And now I've been here for a couple of weeks, and nothing happens. Everything is just on standby, and people are out of work, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I am sure you will succeed. If you can make a lake disappear, I have no doubt you can make a sign disappear. Maybe you'll make the whole mountain disappear. Who knows?
We'll see. I will let you know, Katrin.
Please do. I will definitely be watching. So switching gears, it is a business that you are running. You mentioned earlier that you didn't pay as much attention to school as you wish. How did you go from taking this passion, which really sounded like it came out of just wanting to be liked and being accepted for who you are, into this huge business and brand that you have now?
It started back in my hometown in Norway. It's a small town called Tønsberg, if you like.
Hold on, say it in Norwegian one more time.
Tønsberg.
Tønsberg?
Yes, that's right.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And it's a beautiful little place, but it's really a small town. And I grew up on the countryside, and my family, they were farmers. And when I got the magic book, I was so intrigued. I was so fascinated, and I wanted to perform. So what I did, I I have seen in the city, there were street performers, and they just placed a hat in front of them with coins and money in it, so that people could toss coins into the hat. So I did that every weekend, every like Friday, Saturday, because then there was a lot of people in the big square, and I stood there and I did magic. And I remember once the first time I did it, I was 8 years old. And I went to my grandparents after, because they were living there in the city. And I took the hat and I counted all those coins. And I remember especially this one time, there were in Norwegian crowns, over 800 crowns, and that's in dollar with the currency like it is now, over $80.
Wow.
And that was a lot of money back then.
Especially at 8.
Yes,
A lot of money at
it's
8.
still a lot of money today.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
an 8-year-old just performing in the streets. So, and then I thought, as a young boy, this is a business. This is actually something, if I keep developing it, work on it, get better, this is actually something I can make a living out of.
Wow. I bet your parents and grandparents were so proud to see all of your accomplishments.
Yes, they are always been very supportive. My family has always been very supportive. And my first paid gig, my first paid show, was actually my grandfather. And it was a Christmas party for the farmers from the district where I grew up. So that was the very first gig. I was 10 years old. I was paid like $50 or something like that. So.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, and I love, you and I were talking before of how much you really truly appreciate that this is a gift that has been given to you, and you are so generous in accepting that mission to spread this joy that you bring, and this wonderment.
Yeah.
I love the word wonderful, because if you really break it down and think like full of wonder, what a wonderful way to live.
Yes, right. Yeah, but like I said in the beginning, I feel very blessed because I can use my talent and what I do to give people a good time, and to make them forget about everyday struggles and sicknesses. And that's also why I do a lot of charity work. And I always, when I travel on tour around the world, I visit local hospitals and children wards. And some of these kids, they are so sick, Catherine, they can't even leave the hospital bed. And they're living in isolation in a room, and almost, that they only have their siblings or parents, almost no friends even visiting them. And I started this, I was actually quite young. The first time in my hometown I was invited to perform at the local hospital. And I saw that by inviting everybody to come to see me, that was a nice thing. But everyone couldn't come because some of them, like I said, were isolated and couldn't even leave their room. So I thought, okay, how can I do something to inspire these kids? And what I did was that I walked to each and every room, and sometimes with a glass door in between, because of the because they're so fragile. So I couldn't even be in the room with them. And I thought, okay, how can I make this memorable? How can I have this child really get something out of this? So what I did, I taught them some magic. I actually showed them how they could do like I did when I was 5 years old. I was given the magic book, and to this day, I'm doing those illusions. And I'm showing them some of these very, very simple tricks, if you like, but they're not simple, because you can, I still get a kick out of it, you know. And when I show it, everyone has the same reaction. And for these kids to learn how they actually can do a cool illusion like that. So when their parents visiting the next time, or siblings, or some friends, they can show them, and they will go, wow, you know, and they will have that same great feeling that they mastered something.
Well, and how lovely, because it's not exerting them physically, right? But their mind is still active. You know, that they can't leave their bed, and to give them something to do to occupy their time in such a positive way is really such a great gift that you've given them. And you've continued to give that gift as you've created your own book to further it down to the next generation. So what was that like, and how is that going?
I actually have a copy here.
Perfect. I hope you did.
For now, it's only in Norwegian. This is from 2 weeks ago. It was launched, and we have a lot of great stuff in here, and some photos from my career, and it's the history of magic from 5,000 years ago, and you can see the development from then until today. All these great masters, and also some tips on how you can make your own show, be a performer, costumes, and how you can practice these illusions. And it's well, like you can see, we have a lot of great pictures, so it's easy, much better than the book I got.
Little pictures in black and white.
You know, it's the idea is to inspire, and also something here in Norway. I'm going to donate books so that this will be available in every hospital across the country, so that those kids can have a chance to really have that book and be inspired. And so it's a continuing thing from my visit, from me visiting hospitals. And now, actually, since this come out in every bookstore in Norway, also every library has taken the book in. So now also every school library. So suddenly, maybe magic will even be in schools. So I think it's I think that there's much to learn, and I think the inspirational part of mastering something and be able to do something no matter disability or handicap. I've seen kids with no hands. I have visited blind people, they can see, but we no matter their disability, I can actually teach them a cool magic trick. And some of these tricks are in this book. And now, because I'm traveling so much back and forth to the States, I think it will be in English very, very soon.
Oh, so, good. I so hope so.
Yes, I will send you one. I'm very proud of it, and it's almost 200 pages, and over 50 illusions, from small, easy things to bigger stuff. And actually quite a couple of big illusions too, where you can make a person appear.
Oh my goodness. I mean, just the thought of being able to break it all down and teach it to someone else is such a skill. But I really just want to end here with thinking for the business owner, for the person who maybe has a team in corporate or whatever, how you can bring magic to the people you interact with every day. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be on stage, but it's how we make each other feel, and bringing that light into our world, you know, finding those ways.
For sure. And you have to put in the work. It's not easy, but it's not easy in any business. And you have to just figure out, how can I do this? And that's basically what I'm doing every day. And of course, yes, I had my success, but I had a lot of struggles. to be able to get that success. Nothing is like overnight you're a success. Like I usually say in interview, it took me 20 years to be an overnight success, right?
Right.
And I
Right.
think it's like that with everyone. No matter what business, what you're doing, it takes time. And you have to put in the work, you have to be patient, and you have to figure out along the way how to do it. And if you're going to have employees, how are you, it's all of these things. And yeah, it's been a fun ride. And like for me, I'm feeling like it's only just begun, Katrin.
Oh, I think so. I think so, Alexx. I think, your star is definitely on the rise, and I just feel so honored to share this moment with you.
Thank you so much. It's been such a great time talking to you this morning, and my best wishes from Hollywood.
Yes. Well, final word to you. Anything else that you'd like to share that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, I hope everybody out there who's listening and seeing this, try to just do something nice every day for yourself or for someone else. And I always smile. And the thing with that, even if I have a bad day, I look at myself in the mirror and I just go, come on, bring it up there. And it's kind of funny. And I start laughing, like, oh, it's so stupid. But it's something there. It really is. And just meeting people, just give them a smile. You never know. You can make somebody's day, actually. You never know what people are struggling with. And just to give that smile or say hello, it's and it's so easy to do. So I think all of us, we should do that just every day. Just have that in the back of our heads to just be the best version of ourselves that we can be.
That's right. That's right. Because even if we're ourselves feeling crummy, just like you said, just forcing that smile, it changes our brain in some way, and we just feel better. So it's a great thing to see it in someone else and be able to give that gift, but it's also giving a gift back to us.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Alexx, so much for being here. I will have all of the information on how people can find you, watch your illusions, attend your shows, and make sure they definitely follow you. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And to the listeners, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe it with your audience so we can continue to bring you amazing guests like this, where you can learn all the gifts that they had to share with us. And if there's a person, industry, profession, anything that you're curious about, we love curiosity over here. So reach out to me and I'll see if I can get the perfect guest to interview for you as well. Until next time, everyone, have a great day.